Hey everybody, this is going to be a highly edited video, so bear with me. A lot of you guys might have noticed that I didn't go live yesterday. I had scheduled myself to go live because I had told everybody that I was going to do an evening show. That evening show is not going to happen. And I'm going to try to explain to you why. And it's not funny, but I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I would cry, and I would rather not cry. So, I have adult spectrum disorder, ASD. I have autism. Now, I've had this condition my entire life, but for the past few years that it became really, really clear to me that there was something wrong with me beyond bipolar disorder, beyond trauma and PTSD, and beyond alcoholism, because I used alcoholism to mask and cope with this shit most of my life. So when I removed the alcohol from my life, I was hoping that I would get better. And I take medication for my bipolar disorder that prevents me from going off the rails, from either being too depressed or too manic. But that's not it either. And it seems to me that I go through these cycles. And I want to try to explain to you these. This is about my mental and behavioral health, by the way. This is all I'm going to talk about, okay? So if you're not interested in me, my personal problems, then just don't watch this video. If you suffer from, the same kinds of conditions that I do, this might be helpful to you. You see you see my eyes? You see this puffiness under my eyes? It's because I have not been able to sleep, or I've slept for a few hours at a time for the past 72 hours. I'm just getting through a autistic burnout period. I was feeling burned out on Sunday afternoon. However, Monday, I had to take a trip to go visit my friend, and I felt like I was already burned out, but I forced myself to go anyway because I feel like I can't not try to live my life despite the difficulty and the effort that it takes to try to live a normal life, which I don't have a normal life. And then yesterday, I was completely burned out all the way, totally fried. I did make it out of my house to go see my therapist. He was able to see me in the condition that I was in yesterday, which was actually really good. So that when I tell him, hey, I just came out of a burnout period, then he knows what that looks like. Oh, this video isn't making coherent sense. But see, that's one of the issues. One of the issues is that when I am burned out, I feel like I can't talk. I feel like I can't form sentences, cohesive sentences. I can't concentrate. I feel confused. And even if I'm sitting in a dark room with no music playing, my nerves are shot, shredded, destroyed. And if you've ever had a really, really bad throbbing headache, okay, where the room is going, oh, wah, oh, wah, oh, wah, oh, wah, oh, wah. That is what I experience. It's almost like a migraine without the head pain, but it's still this feeling like it's just everything is throbbing. And I feel like I know it's my nervous system being just blown. So there's a window, a tolerance window for me, like a lane. And within this lane of tolerance, I deal with bipolar disorder and anxiety, and I deal with like trauma, PTSD, whatever. Thank God alcoholism is no longer a part of that lane. But if I break the window, or I bust out of my window of tolerance, then the ASD goes out of control. And then I am just, it's incapacitating. It's disabling. It's arresting. And I become a dysfunctional human being, very low functioning. And the symptoms that I experience when I have crossed the threshold or busted through the window of my tolerance is pain, physical pain. Pain in my eyes, I can't tolerate light. Pain in my ears, any noise or sound feels like my eardrum is bursting. My skin is sensitive, like what it feels like when you're sunburned. So like just being touched by someone, okay, it can be painful. The soles of my feet are painful. So walking is difficult, let alone trying to exercise or do yoga or anything like that. And then my digestive system is fucked up. I can't eat because if I eat, I feel like the food is just sitting in my gut. Like it just sits like a lead balloon in my stomach and I'm like not digesting my food. So I have soup, clam chowder or chicken noodle soup, or I have a bottle of kefir, you know, a bottle of yogurt, drinkable yogurt. Because eating solid food is just not happening for me when that happens. And in that state, like I can't get on my computer, I can't get on my phone. Like I couldn't sit and fill out a form on a website yesterday if I had to. And I felt like when I'm like that, I feel like any kind of activity that requires participation with multiple people, I literally feel like I would just pass out. I literally feel like my nervous system is so fried that if I tried to force myself to do a group activity, that I would just pass out. I would just lose consciousness. And it's exhausting. And as you can see today, because I know I look like garbage, I know I look like shit, but I'm making this video anyway, so you can see me like this. After I go through a period of burnout, it just feels like I'm exhausted. And it really sucks. And I wouldn't wish this condition on anyone. The thing is that I've always had this. I've always had this sensitivity. But unfortunately, as I get older, it's not getting better. I actually feel like it's kind of gotten worse. Or maybe I just don't have the tolerance anymore to barrel through, push through the symptoms to accomplish just regular tasks, like going live. I canceled the live about 7 p.m. last night because I realized there was no way I was going to be able to sit in front of a ring light, communicate my thoughts properly, watch a video with you guys. Like just everything about going live was just intolerable. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't force myself to do it. So that's why I wasn't live last night. And then I got upset because people don't understand how upsetting and distressing it is when you can't do the things that you want to do. I mean, my ASD is so bad that it's prevented me from having relationships, being in intimate romantic partnerships. That's why I don't have a partner. So it's not necessarily like being emotionally dysregulated, but it is definitely not being functional. It's actually like I become dysfunctional. And it's a very, very real physiological thing going on. It's not just in my head. It's not just in my mind. I'm not a hypochondriac. It's literally something wrong with my nervous system. And because your nervous system basically controls everything, once that system goes down, it's not coming back up until it recharges. And I'm not recharged. I'm still exhausted. However, today I'm going to try to do a few things. And it's like, it sucks because if you just saw me walk down the street, okay, you'd be like, that's some random white guy. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong with this guy. Or you guys watch my videos. You used to watch my TikToks. You watch my videos here on YouTube. And I look like someone who's very well put together. I'm actually very, very logical. I'm very reasonable. I'm very rational. I'm intelligent. I consider myself to be well educated. Or at least I'm very well educated on the topics that I specialize in. But none of that shit matters when I go into burnout mode. None of those qualities override what happens when when my mental and behavioral health problems go to shit. So I want to apologize for not going live, although I didn't really have much control over it. And I'm also going to apologize to say that I am not going to even attempt to try to maintain a schedule of going live on a regular basis. I can't. Or at least I can't right now. Because I'm not well. I'm really mentally, emotionally, and physically, not spiritually, mentally and emotionally and physically suffering. Spiritually, I'm doing great. But my spirit and my soul is, inhabiting this temple, okay? The physical body is the temple for the spirit, right? The temple is damaged. So I feel like trying to say I'm going to maintain a regular schedule of going live is just unreasonable. And I should have known that. So I'm going to go live when I can. Maybe I'll schedule myself going live. Maybe I'll just go live randomly. Which is why you need to subscribe and click that notification button, because I might just go live and you'll miss it if you don't get the notification. But for me to set a regular schedule, it's like I work, but the kind of work that I do allows me to work when I have the ability to work and not work when I'm like this. And it's been like this for like 2 decades. I've created a lifestyle for myself, an environment for myself that acts like a sandbox that contains me and can contain the chaos. My home is always quiet and peaceful. I'm always playing music at a low level, like yoga music or jazz, blues music, things that are comforting, things that are peaceful, inspirational. I burn incense. My lights are always lower. A lot of days I don't even open up my curtains because I just need it to be dark during the day. I'm kind of a little bit like a vampire. And then when I'm going through one of these bouts, my sleep schedule is completely irregular. But I created that lifestyle because I need that lifestyle in order to keep the insanity in control. The only way I'm able to maintain control of my symptoms is by having an environment in which I can treat my symptoms when I'm having an acute issue. Most days I don't leave my house. I only leave my house if I have to go to the grocery store, go to the bank, go see my therapist or a doctor, or I go to church on Sunday. If I don't feel well enough to go to church, I just watch the live stream on Facebook because they stream it on Facebook with the volume turned down really, really, really low. Or I'll go visit my friend Grant, but even sometimes I have to cancel my appointment with him because I just can't. So that's kind of like where I'm at. I wanted to make a video today talking about this with you because I'm completely transparent about who I am, and I'm completely transparent about my life. And I've been sad about it because the quality of my life is severely impacted by my condition. I just can't do normal things like other people can. I can't maintain a schedule like normal people can. My emotional range or my window of tolerance is not as broad. I don't have the broad band that other people have, nor do I have the endurance. And it seems like the older I get, it's becoming more difficult to push myself to try to get myself to the other side of the, the finish line. So I really have slowed down a lot. I've slowed down a lot. So I wanted to make this video just to let you guys know what's up with me, why I'm not going to be going live at night. I'm going to make videos when I can. And I just have to tone down the volume of everything in my life right now. Past 4 or 5 years have been very, very dramatic. And I almost crashed out, like really crashed out, like hospitalization level crash out multiple times over the past 2 years. Like full on go into the mental facility and wear the scrubby socks. However, by the grace of God Almighty and the spirits that walk with me, I'm very happy to say that I did not have that bad of a crash, but I still crashed out. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Thanks for listening. I was just doing a check-in with you guys. That's where we're at, y'all. That's where we're at. So I hope that you have a great rest of the day. And if you experience any of the same shit that I experience, you can comment below.